More on this, let's bring in Republican Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas. He's the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, which sometimes makes it difficult for him to tell us everything that he knows. And I know you can't because some things are classified. But how would you characterize America's ability right now to push back against the Iranians and keep that Strait of Hormuz from getting closed down completely?
Well, Dana, as you've heard Pete Hegseth and Chairman Dan Kane say, our military campaign is proceeding very successfully so far. We have seen Iranian rates of fire of ballistic missiles fall by almost 90% from the first days of the war. But there are many days left ahead of us. This is a methodical, deliberate campaign to destroy Iran's missile and drone arsenal, its ability to manufacture them in the future, to ever have nuclear weapons, or to threaten the Strait of Hormuz. And President Trump has been crystal clear, we will not allow a radical, revolutionary regime in Iran to threaten one of the world's most strategic and vital waterways. That's one of the reasons why we had to start this campaign in the first place.
Senator, some of your colleagues in the Senate, they come out of these classified briefings and they're all doom and gloom, right? They say there's no strategy, there's no goal, they don't know what the U.S. is doing. You're in these same briefings with them. There's two realities coming out of these briefings. What are your thoughts when they come out and they go on TV and you're hearing from them something very different than what you're seeing?
You know, Bill, Iran has had what you might call a Yosemite Sam strategy from the very beginning. They've just been shooting at everyone all around them, trying to threaten the world economy, trying to get Arab leaders to call Donald Trump and plead for peace. Instead, they've been calling and asking for targeting coordinates. Iran has succeeded in uniting the entire civilized world against its revolutionary regime, except for two groups, the Democratic Party and the liberal media. They seem to be rooting for our troops to fail and rooting for Iran to withstand this campaign. And I can tell you that in these classified briefings, the briefers are very clear. They share as much information as they have. Not all the information is available. We can't tell you exactly how many launchers Iran has left for its missiles. We can't tell you exactly how many missiles or drones it has left. But it is a deliberate, methodical campaign that is making tremendous progress. There may be tough days ahead, but it's making great progress. And the president's been very clear about those goals, about destroying the missiles and the drones, destroying the nuclear program, keeping the Strait of Hormuz open, and ensuring that Iran can no longer put a chokehold on the Strait of Hormuz or the civilized world by its support for terror and other outlaw actions.
One of your another Democratic colleagues, Senator Blumenthal, he came out and talked about fears, as he described it, of Russia and Chinese involvement in this conflict against the U.S.
As disturbingly as anything else, the specter of active Russian aid to Iran putting in danger American lives. Literally, Russia seems to be aiding our enemy actively and intensively with intelligence and perhaps with other means. And China also may be assisting.
And we know that President Trump did speak to the Russian president. Anything more you could add to that?
Well, Dana, I can't confirm or deny intelligence reports that Russia or China might be helping Iran with targeting details, for instance. But I can say it sounds like the kind of thing they would do. Soviet Russia did this throughout the Cold War. Putin's Russia is no different in this regard. I would say that right now, if you hear what he's been saying and posting on social media, it's probably not a good time for another country to be messing around with Donald Trump. I'm sure he conveyed that to Vladimir Putin. I'm sure his senior officials like Marco Rubio and John Ratcliffe have been conveying it to their counterparts as well. Russia and China, if they were to provide any assistance to Iran, are playing with fire.
Senator, we understand you've just sent a letter to the Department of Energy. You want some answers on the Biden administration's siphoning and withdrawing of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve back in 2021, 2022. Can you fill us in on that?
Yeah, Bill, it's just another example of how the Democratic Party is not serious about the threats from Iran. Back in 21 and 22, when the Biden administration and congressional Democrats had unleashed record inflation, their solution was to draw down the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. That reserve was not designed to help Democrats out of a political jam of their own making. It was literally designed and created after the oil shock in the 1970s. Yet we don't have enough oil in the reserve right now. We even had a proposal during the debate over COVID pandemic relief legislation to buy oil when it was only about $20 or $25 a barrel. Chuck Schumer blocked that because he didn't want to have any profit going to the oil companies. Guess what? They don't make a lot of profit at $20 and $25 a barrel. So you see this repeated pattern over the years of the Democrats playing politics with the oil and gas industry, basically trying to shut it down, using the Strategic Petroleum Reserve for their own political benefit, and now we simply don't have enough oil there.
Senator Cotton, it's always good to see you, and thank you for giving us your time.
Thanks, Senator.
Our audience appreciates it too. Thank you.
Thank you all.